Welcome back. So what if you did not find your animal in the images that I provided, right? So because there is so many animals, it was impossible for me to provide you all the images. So here, so what if you looked at all of the images here, all of the animals, and some of them repeat, right? So, and what if you did not find one? So for example, yes, there is a dolphin right here. But what if you did not find, let's say, whale? Okay, so there is no whale. I don't believe that there is a whale here. So if you did not find the whale, your first card is going to be your template. I recommend that you copy it before you start playing with it because you want to have one clean template. So what you can do, you can just copy it and always have at the front, that is your template for your save space and bleed area and cutoff lines, cut area. Then you'll have your template and then you're going to play with the next one. Do it all the time. So this way you always will have the original template. Okay. So let's say that you cannot find the whale, and whale is your animal guide. We're going to do exactly the same what we were doing when we were looking for elements. We're just going to go elements, right? So you normally in here. So you go to elements and you're going to just say whale. And you can find, depending on the style, maybe you want a photo of the whale. So let's just see if there is any photo of the whale that you like. And maybe there is one, like this one is pretty cool. So we can go ahead and we can put that inside the frame, right? So that is going to be our whale. And maybe you don't want it to be that transparent, so you can definitely change transparency. And now we're going to be building on the background. So what do you want to have in the background? Well, maybe when you met your animal guide in the meditation, maybe your animal guide said that you have some texture, specific texture. Maybe your colors were some very specific colors there. So we can look at the background. So you can click on the background here. And if you don't have the pro version again, make sure you only get free images and free textures or backgrounds, because this way you don't need to pay when you're downloading the file. So let's look at some patterns. I'm going to look at all of that. And maybe your patterns, and I'm going to look at the ones where there is no crown, where it doesn't say pro. And maybe you seen or you heard or you knew immediately that your pattern was the pattern of the peacock. And you can just go ahead here and oops, let's just do that again. And we're just going to add this pattern as a background there. Sometimes it just takes a second, okay? So maybe that was the important element. And I know it might seem strange that you have the whale and the pattern of the peacock, but that is what came to you in the dreams, and there was probably in the meditation, and there is probably was significance to that, right? So because probably there was a significance to that. And we can definitely play with transparency here, right? So you can do brighter, you can do less. I kind of really like it this way because it's a bright peacock, and now we have this transparency of the whale, and it creates a lot of depths and creates really cool kind of effects, right? So, but now our card is really, really dark. And because our card really dark, we need to adjust the colors of the frames. So we can go ahead and maybe the color of the frame was gold. Maybe one of the colors that you've seen was gold. And then what we can do, we can just click on that and we can just adjust all of the frame to the gold color, okay? If it does ask you if you want to change everything to gold, but then everything will be changed, the number and everything else, and the text, okay? And maybe you want to do number completely different color too. Maybe you had different colors there, but we just need to make sure that it's light, right? So in this case, oops, in this case, we just want just number, nothing else. And we want to change it to white. Not sure why it's changing this way, but let's see if we can change it to white. Here we go. Okay. But you can change it to other color as well. Just make sure that you can see it. So you can even keep it gold as well. So there's nothing wrong with that. So you can keep it the same color. And now we need to make sure that we are going to change that name. So maybe the name of your whale was whale. Okay. And the message, maybe the message here that that you received in your guided meditation was, don't be afraid to take space. And maybe that is something really important to you. So you're going to adjust the font here. I'm going to see what's going on. There is some, let's see. Okay. And now, as you can see again, you cannot see those letters, those words, because they are too dark, and also our background is too busy. So there is two things we can do with that. We can definitely lighten our fonts, okay, the color. So let's just change it to white for a minute so I can see the position, how it looks. And then we're going to go from there. So here's, we have, I also don't like that don't be afraid is bigger than whale, because whales need to be bigger because of hierarchy, right? So that's your name of your card. And then, so you can move it a little bit. And then you can change this to a different font as well, maybe something simpler and not as hard to read, maybe something like that. Okay, don't be afraid, and then to take space. Okay, so now it's still very busy, it's hard to read. So you can probably print just for yourself and you can get away with that. But what I would recommend to do here, and we also need to center everything. So let's just center this. Let's just center this one. The way to center it, you're just going to highlight, click on three dots, align to page and center. And we're going to do the same thing here as well. And I'm going to first make sure that it's there. And three dots, align to page and center. So now it's centered, but it's too busy, right? So what I recommend to go to elements, and I recommend to go to overlays. So you can go to overlay, and you can find all different type of overlay graphics that you can use. Like, let's say we can even use something like that. This one has a frame, so it's not a good idea, but let's look at different ones. Okay, so we want the overlay, we want to darken this spot here. So you can do a couple of things. You can use this one. So this one is black, and you can just stretch it out. And this will work really well. Then all we need to do is just adjust the position. So we're going to go to layers, and we're going to make sure that our word whale and all of that is going to be above that overlay. And now see how everything is standing out, right? So see how everything is standing out, and now it's starting to take shape. What I don't like that our words really, for the word whale, patching the frame. So we want to make sure we adjust it. And this one I find a little bit too big. I might just put it in one line. Let's see how it will look. See if I can put it in one line. Yeah, I don't mind that at all. Actually, that looks much neater, and you can play with fonts and everything else here. Now, maybe in your dream, you also were told that the spiral is one of the important symbols, because the spiral is really indication of growth, right? So the growth and development, evolvement. You can go ahead and you can find spirals. Again, if you don't have paid account, you're going to click on free, and then you're going to click and find one of the spirals here. And what you can do, you can just place it somewhere and then adjust the transparency So it's kind of there, but it's not. So it's important because you will notice it, but it's not going to affect the design, right? So it's not going to interact with the design and lose that quality of design for yourself. So and maybe something else was because whale is very intuitive. So maybe moon was another symbol of intuition that was revealed to you during the visualization. We can go and we can find three elements here, and maybe we'll like this one, and we're just going to go here and we're going to place it there again. We can also make it smaller if you want, or you can make it bigger. You can do it many different ways. So we can place it behind. I'll show you how in a moment. But first, we really want to make it a little bit more transparent. And so maybe the moon is going to be there. So now we need to move it. Maybe it just, how about the whale kind of playing with it? It's a little bit too bright for me. So I definitely will go with more transparency. And I also want to put it behind the whale picture. So the moon is going to be behind, underneath the whale picture. So now it's not as visible, and you can make it a little bit more visible if you want. So this way you can see that. Okay, so you see it now, you are layering so many different layers, and it creates a lot of incredible depths. Okay, so maybe you also, because whale lives, in an ocean, maybe you also want to put the coral or like seaweed or anything like that. So you're going to type in and you're going to try to find the element that will make sense for you, right? So maybe it's this one, and maybe you want to place it somewhere here. Maybe there is significant meaning of this seaweed, and you can also change the color of that. You can change it to something more with opacity. It gives you colors on the left of the image. Maybe we can change it to something like that. And also going with that transparency. See how you are building. So what we're doing essentially here, we're building a collage, right? So we're building a collage. It's not a mixed media collage because there is no really different textures or papers, but it is a mixed collage in regards to we're looking at different images and different graphics, and we're moving them the ways that we're trying to arrange, but we also want to make sure that all of those symbols represented from what we were revealed in your guided visualization, okay? So that's how you can do. Pretty much this one could be done. It looks really good right now. So one thing that I want to see, I don't really like this color for the font. So maybe in your dreams, the color, there was a specific color. So maybe there was, and I'll do red, and I'll see if there is any color, and those are way too dark for us. So maybe the orange, or you'll have to start playing, because even with red, you can find different colors, right? So, and here, I'm not even sure I like those colors. I really don't. So I like to pick colors from the image and kind of look at the colors, what came to me in the dreams. I try to incorporate it somewhere in the background, because you can layer another image on top of another one. You can do many different layers here. But for this one, I think, see how this one aligns with everything, and because it's from the image from at the top. So now this one looks pretty good. So it kind of looks balanced. Gold was important to us. And another thing you can do, you can leave everything gold if that's what you choose to do. You can leave everything in that color and that hue as well. So if you want it to be kind of more monochromatic and all the same colors, that would work as well. Okay. So now that we designed that card, we need to check again, just like I showed you in previous video. You need to make sure that everything is aligned and everything is actually staying within those guidelines, right? So we're going to put our image here, and we're going to carefully see how is it all aligned. So it looks pretty good. I can probably move my text a little bit lower, so that would be fine. So it will provide a little bit more balance. Otherwise, we have too much room here from the bottom to that text right there. So I'm going to delete that. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to move my text a little bit lower, and I'm going to put it back on. And right now it's a little better, as like it's a little bit better with the balance, but I'm not sure I like them to be that far apart, right? So you can, now you can play around. You can also maybe make this in 2 lines or anything like that. So now you're just going to start playing around and see what you like and what you don't like. I think I want to move that a little bit higher, and I do want to change it in 2 lines like originally, like I was planning originally, and now I want to increase this font. So it's okay that it's bigger than, well, it's not bigger than the word, but it's more legible as well. Okay, so yeah, so that's how you can create the collage inside Canva. Very, very simple and easy. And again, just with like in another video, in your first video, make sure when you downloading it, if you have the Canva Pro, you're just going to go from size right to the right. So it's 300 dpi. And if you don't, I'm giving you another tool which called Big JPEG, and it's self-explanatory. You can just upscale image there, okay? So that's all for now. And if when you design your cards, if you can email it to me so I can see all of the beautiful cards that you design, because I would love to share it. If you're inspired, if you're open to do that, because sometimes your animal guide is very, very personal, and I understand that as well. But if you want to share it, please let me know, and I'll share it with others as well in my community. So this way people can get inspired and see what they can create very simply. No AI tools required, just the Canva, and you can create beautiful, beautiful collages right inside the Canva. Another thing I want to remind you, right underneath this video, there is a button to join my free group. So go ahead and join it. We have monthly Q&A calls where you can come anytime during that call, and you can ask me any questions during this community. It's for all of my students and all of the Oracle card lovers and enthusiasts. Okay, well, enjoy it. Enjoy the rest of this program. Now you have all of your information. You met your animal guide. You created your Oracle card. You can see more videos as a bonus for this as well, how to print it. So just go through the remainder of the lessons. And I cannot wait to see all of your cards. So as I said, I would love if you send me a picture, snapping your card, maybe when your altar where your card is sitting. That would mean a lot to me, okay? Thank you so much again for purchasing it. Thank you so much for your enthusiasm for creating the animal guides for yourself.